Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Christine Blasey Ford has until Friday morning to decide if she will testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Grassley sent the deadline in a letter delivered yesterday to her lawyer.
Kavanaugh himself has made clear that he will appear before the committee, and he has steadfastly denied her allegations. Gary Lane brings us the story.
Everyone on Capitol Hill is wondering, will Brett Kavanaugh's accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, appear Monday before the Senate Judiciary Committee? On Wednesday, Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley said the hearing will move forward.
And we're not going to cancel any hearing until the last minute. I don't know what the last minute is.
But later, Grassley sent a letter to Blasey Ford setting a Friday deadline for her to respond to the invitation to testify. Blasey Ford says Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a high school party 35 years ago. Kavanaugh has completely denied the allegations. Although her attorney first said she would appear, Blasey Ford now wants an FBI investigation of the allegations before she testifies. Democrats agree. The FBI has conducted 6 background checks on Kavanaugh over the years. In a letter to Senate Judiciary Committee Democrats, Grassley said the Senate can't order another one. Grassley wrote, "The Senate has no power to command an executive branch agency into conducting our due diligence. The job of assessing and investigating a nominee's qualifications in order to decide whether to consent to the nomination is ours and ours alone." President Trump says he won't order another FBI investigation of Kavanaugh.
I can only say this: he is such an outstanding man. Very hard for me to imagine that anything happened.
And critics say a witness like Blasey Ford doesn't have the right to demand an investigation before she testifies. Some conservatives say the Kavanaugh allegations parallel tactics used by the left against Supreme Court Justice nominee Clarence Thomas, and that they can smear reputations, a point that Thomas made at his hearing in October 1991.
There is nothing this committee, this body, or this country can do to give me my good name back.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
Keep in mind this on Christine Blasey Ford. Please don't believe all the internet rumors that are going around right now. There's a lot of fake news out there, particularly on Twitter. Allegations that she's a bad professor, allegations that somehow this is revenge for Kavanaugh's mother ruling against her parents in a court case, that she's sent a similar letter about another judge. All of that is false. Please, let's not go after her. She needs to have her opportunity. Let's look forward to her agreeing to testify in front of the Senate. That committee is the decider. That committee is the jury here of whether Judge Kavanaugh gets to become Justice Kavanaugh. And that testimony, her testimony, is the determining factor. It's not going to be an FBI investigation. It's what she says, what he says, and there's going to be a jury involved of these senators on the Judiciary Committee. So I hope she says yes to it. If she doesn't, it's going to be a one wild controversy and one wild vote. Well, while the Kavanaugh controversy dominates the headlines, Americans are happy about a different political issue. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Gordon. The political issue is the economy, and it's doing so well Americans say they're not worried about it. According to a Gallup survey, only 12% see the economy as the most important issue facing the U.S. That's a record low. 55% of Americans say the economy is getting better, and 64% say now is a good time to find a quality job. Well, the number of terrorist attacks worldwide dropped by 23% last year, according to a new State Department report. Still, it says terrorism remains a significant threat to the United States. Islamic terrorists also continue their attacks against Christians and other believers worldwide. International Christian Concern reports 2 Christians in Kenya were murdered last week for refusing to recite the Islamic Statement of Faith. The Islamic terrorist group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack. Well, President Trump visited North Carolina and South Carolina to inspect the damage from Hurricane Florence Wednesday. The president thanked first responders and volunteer rescue workers in New Bern, North Carolina, who saved more than 4,000 people from the floodwaters across the state.
In moments of despair, we witness the true character of the American people. So true.
The president then visited South Carolina and Gordon. While that might have been an emotional boon for some, the floodwaters are still continuing, and the governor says the worst is yet to come for his state.
We need to pay attention to that. This disaster is still unfolding. Keep in mind what happened in Katrina, and there was a Category 4 to 5 hurricane that came ashore, wiped out southern Mississippi. Some towns just there wasn't anything left. But the real damage happened in the following weeks as the flooding hit New Orleans. So this flooding in South Carolina, the flooding that is currently happening in North Carolina, it seems to be increasing. So we need to do our best for those people. And Operation Blessing is there in New Bern. Operation Blessing is there in Fayetteville. And we're there in your name, providing relief to those in need.